Hi, family. Fifi here from wellnessparlor.com. Today's topic is going to be around the burden and expectations that we place on our family members to be X, Y, and Z. Okay? Now, a lot of us have this thing, and it seems to be built in, whereby you expect that because someone is your mother, they're your father, they're your sister, they're your brother, so on and so forth, um, that they are supposed to do certain things for you, right? And they're also tasked with meeting all of your expectations. A lot of times, when those expectations weren't met before the ages of 7 years old, what tends to happen is that it creates a deficit in the individual. And so as they get older, they might begin to play this game in their head where they set certain tasks up in order for people to either pass or fail so that they could determine whether or not you love them, right? And that game never works out because the truth is, if somebody is not feeling loved, chances are that the people that they're putting through their paces to prove their love aren't even speaking their love language. So the message never gets communicated to the individual that they are indeed loved and that this person may be trying to meet their expectations, trying to make them happy. So what that does now is that it sets the scene for an individual to then go through life always testing people, always pushing people to the edge to see if they're going to put up with whatever it is that this person is dealing with. If they put up with it, it means that the person loves them, right? And unfortunately, this never works out because people's capacity to hold space for others vary. Somebody could love you unconditionally and still not be able to meet your needs. This is why self love and self esteem is so very important, because the time that it takes to put other people through tests and paces to see whether or not they're going to do for you, that same time could have been invested in yourself, understanding who you are, understanding what makes you tick. Um, you could be spending that time finding out what are the lessons that you've learned from whatever you've gone through in your life. But that is just not the way that the world works. And there are a lot of us who can be either the perpetrators or on the receiving end of burdening others to meet our love thresholds and our expectations in life. And I just want to say, family, whatever you didn't get as a child up until the ages of 18, right? Whatever you didn't get, after the age of 18, it is really incumbent on you to begin to put yourself back together again, make yourself whole, and begin the process of reparenting, relearning, and reassembling yourself. It would be nice in an ideal world if we got everything that we needed as children, and then as you grow, you can then just skip the traumatic phase and enter into your bloom, and life just goes swimmingly. But it doesn't work like that. It's sad, but at the same time, it is actually very powerful, because what it means is that you have full responsibility for making yourself whole again after the age of 18. I would say even after 21, actually, depending on the culture that you grew up in, so on and so forth, right? Now, when we put these burdens on others to meet our expectations in order for us to feel loved, we oftentimes don't take into consideration that the person that we're burdening with whatever title they carry, mother, father, cousin, uncle, aunt, so on and so forth, they too have their own stuff to deal with. They too have their own deficits that they must reconcile with. And so, this is what creates the problem in you burdening others to make you happy, to make you whole, and to make you feel seen. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't have the language to be able to say, I just don't have the capacity to do what it is you're requiring right now, or I can't. Everybody doesn't have that capacity. And so, what might happen is that as you lay out your expectations for others to rise up to meet so that you can become happy, um, they may rebel against the table that you set before them. They may begin to act out as a way of sending the message to you that me can't do it. I can't do it. This too much. You understand? They might not have the language to say, I'm up to here with my own stuff and I don't have anything left to be able to give to you. You understand? So we must learn that it is actually easier to live with an open heart versus burdening those around us to be able to meet our needs and expectations. Let me give you an example of what I mean. In my personal experience, every time that I have needed something from someone that is quote unquote close to me, and I've been disappointed because that the expectations weren't met, even though there may have been an agreement for things to go a certain way. The other person may have changed their mind without telling me, which then leaves me with the load of sadness and resentment. But the one thing that I've always done since I was able to do so is leave room for the unexpected. So, whenever something has gone awry in one way or another, and there's been a disappointment, even though I might be sad about this particular situation, I never just close the door on that and become hard and brittle. I tend to go to a corner, lick my wounds, and then find my renewed stash of hope. And then, with that type of consciousness, what tends to happen is that you will run into people that will do more for you than even what you were expecting from this particular person. You begin to then pull in what it is that you need because you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. I've had situations whereby I had a client that they wanted a particular type of relationship from their grandmother, right? They didn't know their grandmother, but they wanted this relationship. What happened then was that when they met the grandmother, they only met her, I think they met her like one time after we started our therapy sessions. They initiated the meeting and they met the grandmother after one time. And what happened was the meeting didn't go as planned, and the grandmother wanted nothing to do with my client. So when it was our therapy session again, we really explored what it is that she wanted, so on and so forth. And I encouraged her to have an open heart. And I remember that it was maybe a month, 3 weeks to a month afterwards, and this older woman came into her life, and the same thing that she told me that she wanted, she began to get from this older woman whom she didn't know before that she wasn't able to get from her blood relative. You understand? And if I'm not mistaken, I think she even made the comment that we she told me, she said, we miss a lot of our gifts because we're expecting it out of just a particular person or out of our family structure. And there's so many people out there that are willing to give you what you need, but it just might not come how you think it should come. And I thought that that was very profound, because I know how hurt that she was when she didn't get what she needed from her relative. You understand? And family, I can't tell you how many times that has been the absolute God's honest truth for me. You understand? Leave room in your life. Don't burden others with your expectation, and develop the self-respect to not let other people burden you with their expectations as well, especially if they don't hold up their end of the bargain, so on and so forth, but they want to come and throw stuff on you. You're not a recycling receptacle. You're not a rubbish bin. You're not a rubbish bag. Do not get into the habit of burdening others with your expectations and have them burden you with theirs also. Family, is very important that we do constant appraisals of where we are, how we're doing, how's our mental health, are we getting what we need in our lives? Because a lot of times, awareness is half of the healing. If you could just become aware of what it is that you have, what it is that you need, what it is that you lack, what it is that you like, that is just half of the healing, because most people go through their lives unaware, unexamined, and just not present. So I really want you to take this time to find out what it is that you're holding space for, that you feel like only this person could do this for me to make me feel this way. And I really want you to play around with taking off the burden of your blessings having to look a particular way. Get into the habit of just being open to receiving what you need, period. Not necessarily specifically from this person, specifically from that person, because remember, they have their own stuff. And a lot of times our unhappiness comes because people might not have the language to tell you that they can't be there for you. And so you burden them with your stuff and you wait for them to show up for you, and they genuinely can't. But there is someone else that is willing to do so if you will have an open enough heart to invite the energy of what it is that you need into your life without it having to look a particular way. I hope that this video finds you well. I hope that it gives you something to think about, and I hope that it adds value. Do let me know down below. What are your thoughts? What are your experiences? And how has this principle of expecting X from this one person, how has that worked out for you versus when you just call in the energy that is for you and it shows up in a different form? Okay? All right, family, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.